Hi again. So, what if I told you that moving across the country was wasn't about logistics? It was more about faith, the kind of faith that moves mountains. You see, I said in the last video that I would try to describe some of the circumstances that we were in, and and I don't know any other way of describing this other than how it relates to faith. I If you know the Bible in the book of Mark, chapter 12, there's a particular verse that is quite instructive. Let me pull it up here so I know what I'm doing. It's chapter 12, verse 24. Jesus says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." And you notice the past tense angle on that. This is whatever you ask, believe that you have received it. It's past tense. Believe it's already yours. So during the time before we moved, before we had sold our house, and when I was having a very rough time, we weren't able to pay bills or even buy food for a few weeks. Um, I ran across that verse and I took it to heart. And it's something that it's almost supernatural, because it doesn't make sense to ask for something in prayer but believe you already have it, because your senses tell you you don't have it. So it's kind of a catch-22. But it really is the way it works. I got so desperate, so heartbroken and hollowed out, so devastated, because I didn't know what to do. And when I ran across that verse, I decided to make it mine. And even though I knew we didn't have those things, I made up my mind that we did. And there's another verse, fear not, do not be afraid. And I knew that fear was the problem. I was afraid of what could happen, but I also knew that we'd be taken care of. And since I knew we'd be taken care of one way or the other, I hung on to that. I believed we already received it, because I knew we would be already taken care of. And that's when, and another side thing is the neighborhood that we lived in was pretty popular with house flippers. I'd been getting 1 or 2 calls a week from people wanting to buy our house, and having worked with flippers as a contractor, I didn't trust. I knew there were some good ones, because I had a couple good ones that were customers. But most of them, they weren't good in business. They didn't understand what they were doing. They were just out to make a quick buck, and I didn't want any part of them. So anyway, the next day after I chose to believe that we were going to be fine, I get the phone call, and on the caller ID Angel is what came up on the caller ID. And so I took the call, and the young man on the other end, I liked his demeanor. He was polite. He wasn't pushy. I could tell he was new at what he was doing, but he represented himself as having backing with money. But he was honest with me. So I chose to go ahead and talk with him about it. And so we talked, and I asked him to give me a week so we could think about what we were, what we would ask for the house and so forth. And so we did, and during that time, things just weren't getting any better. And we came up with a price that we were willing to sell for, which I knew was a significant discount than what it could be worth. But the house needed a new roof. It needed, it needed new flooring. It needed a paint job inside and out. It needed a lot of work. It needed new heating and air conditioning. It just needed, it needed, my guess was about $60,000 or $70,000 worth of work, which there was no way for us to get it. So I discounted the house that much, and then I thought, well, we need a quick sale, so I discounted it a little bit more. And I told the angel, and he agreed. He said it would be a fast thing. So the next day he came, and he had a contract, and I'm pretty good at stuff like that. So I looked it over. It's pretty plain, pretty standard. We took it, and he said it would be a 30 to 60 day deal, and we agreed to rent the house back for a couple of months so we could, move out. And everything came just like it was supposed to. So we had cash in hand, and it was in the middle of winter. It was in December, and I'm sorry, it was in November. And when we got our money, we decided that we were going to look at Springfield. So we came to Springfield, and we were kind of worried because Kim and I, we knew our credit was shot, and we knew we were going to have a hard time even renting a house. But we had some money, so we could work with it. And so we arrived into Springfield, got our motel, and pretty uneventful. Got up the next day, and we went out. I had a list of houses I wanted to look at that I'd found for sale. So the first one, I could tell by the listings and the things, the way people were advertising their houses, and I could tell which ones, I thought I could tell which ones we could work with. So we went to the first one, and, it looked okay. It was nice. And we pulled up, and there was a lady putting a key in the lockbox. And so I rolled down the window, and I said, "Hi, are you the realtor, or are you just leaving a key here? What's that?" And she goes, "Oh, no, I own this house." And I said, "Well, can we come in and take a look?" So we did. And it was, it was okay, but it didn't really meet our needs. It was a nice house, but it just wasn't. Our son is 6'6", and the third bedroom that was upstairs, the ceiling itself was, I don't even think it was 7 foot tall. His head cleared the ceiling, but it hit the light fixtures. So we were kind of debating it, And the lady says, "Well, I have another house not too far from here, and I call it the Giraffe House." Well, my wife collects giraffes, and her ears perked right up. And "Why do you call it the Giraffe House?" "Well, it's got a stone siding on it. It looks like a giraffe pattern." And so it was about a 5-minute drive, and we got over to this house we're in. You can see it in the back, and it's like a giraffe house. And we were able to make a deal. You know, we gave her good money. We gave her a good amount of money down, but we got into what I think is a pretty fair deal. And we may have overpaid on paper, but from California, you know, it was half of what it would have cost in California. So we were pretty happy about it, and it just opened up like that. And I forgot to tell you, on the way here, my wife and I, you know, it's a long drive, and we were talking, and you know, we were both worried, but then I wasn't worried, because, and the way I looked at it was, I told her, I said, you know, the house is already there. It's already there. We've already got a house. It's just a matter of finding it. And then it turned out we just basically drove up almost to the front door. It was there waiting for us. So at any rate, that was the first big thing. And there were other things, but that one was pretty good. First, the angel met our needs, and then we were able to get our house just like that. And we got here, and you know, we ended up, we rented pods, and we got all of our stuff in the pods, and we relocated here to Springfield. And you know, it made me, it's very important to remember faith. It's faith. I believed that we'd already received it. We just hadn't picked it up yet. And that's exactly what happened. We got what we needed when we needed it. And we went from being destitute and broken, hungry, to being flush with cash for a little while at least. And another home, a new locale, which it's hard, you know, leaving your friends a long ways behind. But we had to do it. It was getting so expensive. When I saw people paying $1,500 a month to rent a 1-bedroom in a house, share the bathroom, share the kitchen, that's just insanity. Here we have a 3-bedroom house, and it's on a pretty good sized lot, and it's very well located. And our house payment is much less here. So, just give you an idea. And faith. And so it reminded me to go back and look at this passage in Mark about, you know, that's where I came across it. And it's really, it might get kind of deep. I'm not trying to preach. But you know what? Leave a comment. Like and leave a comment. Subscribe if you feel the need. And in the next video, I'll go over the passage in Mark is Mark 12, or 11, 12 through 24. And I'll go verse by verse, and I'll explain how it applied to my life and how it still applies. And, you know, it actually applies to everyone's life if they choose it. You don't have to choose it. It's just the way I see things, and I have, the proof is in the pudding, because here I am. And there's a motorcycle. Anyway. Check back again. I'll be posting another one tomorrow. You folks have a good day.